Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for watching. Welcome to what is effectively a public service announcement. The game is Watch Dogs.
Pick up, come on.
Because Watch Dogs,
Where the hell have you
while it is a game, and on first blush it is basically a Ubisoft game, you climb a tower, you find a region, you unlock things, you get collectibles. The collectibles might or might not have any relationship to the actual game itself. You drive cars, you shoot things, or you ride horses and you arrow things if you play Assassin's Creed. It's an Ubisoft game. The missions are annoying. And the final mission is ridiculous. Let's put it that way. Ridiculous. But there's more to it. It's a game at first blush, yes. And there are some fanciful things happening, like hacking grenades. Hello, anybody. Do you think you can really hack a grenade? Probably not. But there are other things going on that are much closer to reality than most people really believe. Let's talk about what is happening on the screen, just randomly walking by somebody and listening in on their conversation, or taking money out of their wallet. You might think, no way. That can't happen. Yeah, it can. Not quite to the level shown in Watch Dogs yet, but at a level that, yes, it can happen. Most people have an Android and Apple phone, and a lot of you might or might not. Hopefully you don't. This is part of this public service announcement, info security here, people. Some of you might have your near-field communication turned on. Guess what? Near-field communication is just that. It's a field issued by your phone that can be picked up by a reader. They say, they being Apple and Google and all those guys, oh, it can't be read unless you're really, really close. Yeah, that's the theory, but the reality is much greater. I have a credit card that has a near-field chip in it, and I checked. You can actually pick it up from a good 1.5 feet. Now, that doesn't sound like a lot, but if you're in a crowded subway, guess what? People are going to get a lot closer to you. My credit cards sit in a steel-lined wallet that basically nullifies the near-field systems. The near-field communication on my phone is turned off. Google Assistant is turned off, though I just want to point out, even if you turn that stuff off, Google is listening. If your phone is in the room, like my phone is currently in the room with me right now, it is listening to what I am saying. It is sending it back to Google, and Google is parsing it, even though they say it's turned off. You want to know how you can test this? Spend a little bit of time with your phone unlocked, and just hold it, and talk to it about something completely random for an extended period of time. Now, this does require an extended period of time because you have to overcome Google's BS sensors, basically. But then when you start to type into the Chrome browser, let's say you have an Android phone, the autocomplete of Google will autocomplete with stuff that you were just talking about. If you start to search something close to that, it'll autocomplete in that general direction. Yeah, it's listening. Don't believe when they say it's not, because it is. The other thing that is happening here in Watch Dogs is when I use a camera to zoom in on people, profiles them. Yeah, I know that Aiden is profiling when he's holding his phone. That's crap right now. But profiling from a camera, yeah, that's real in China right now. That's real in Hong Kong right now. In fact, in China, you can pay with your face. I'll link to a Frontline documentary that talks about AI and about this very thing. In fact, I watched this documentary, and after watching this documentary, I was looking through my library of games, and I saw Watch Dogs. I'm like, oh my goodness. So I played Watch Dogs. I was like, oh yeah, that's basically what they were showing in Watch Dogs and in Frontline. It doesn't sound bad at first. You might think, oh, well, that's security. Well, that's true. But then you become an activist against government, and that's attached to your profile. Now, every time it scans your face, oh, here's a government activist. Now it becomes something to control you, to keep you from doing things. to find blackmail on you, to try to force you into a box, to try to put you into an echo chamber where you only hear the things you want to hear, so that you can be divided out further, that you can be targeted with ads, that you can be targeted politically so that you only support that person and the other side is evil, so that the country can fracture apart and no more can the people come together to tell the politicians you're idiots. Though they are idiots. People refuse to read both sides, listen to both sides, see both sides because they're fed just one side. It sounds paranoid, doesn't it? Sad thing is, it's actually happening. Now, I get into this car, I have to jump out right away because I was like, ooh, copyrighted song. Here's the thing with that. My truck is super secure because it has manual door locks and manual windows. It is super secure. You cannot remotely get into my truck because, well, you need a key. But a key fob, old school key fob, I'm calling them old school key fobs, the ones that just unlock your doors. It's just a radio transmitter, people. That's all it is. Now, it's an encrypted radio transmitter, but the encryption level of that radio transmitter is not that great, actually. It can be intercepted. So can the signal to your garage door, by the way. Now, that's not such a big deal. Okay, maybe your garage door is a big deal, but unlocking your car door. Okay, great. They unlocked your car door. They still need the key to start the engine, or they have to hotwire their car. Oh, wait. The new cars, where you just have to have the key within the car for it to run. Oh, wait. If that's hacked, if they intercept the encoded system to the car, oh, hey, now they can run the car. They don't even have to be in the car, by the way. Some of these new cars that have Wi-Fi enabled, there was actually a hacker who managed to hack into a Jeep, Cherokee thingy, whatever those things are, and was able to apply the brakes, turn on the windshield wipers, everything but steer the car, because this car steering was still manual system, but he was able to apply the brakes, disable anti-lock. He chose not to deploy the airbags because he was doing it as a test with a journalist in. It actually was written up, I want to say Jalopnik, but it was a couple years ago. This kind of stuff is real. So, why am I saying all this? Don't go hide in a bunker because it's not going to do you any good. But consider information security. One of the things in Watch Dogs, I don't remember which mission it was, but there was a mission where I needed to find somebody, and my person in my ear on my phone, whatever, they said, oh, wow, her social media profile is great. This is what she's wearing. Think about that when you post pictures on social media. There's a reason I don't have a personal Facebook. There's a reason I don't have a personal Twitter. There's a reason that my Twitter is pretty random for the Dare Terrorist channel. My face is out there because I have done that previously. I used to have a Facebook. I used to have a Twitter, all that stuff. So I accept that my face is out there. It's stored somewhere, and Google is parsing all that information. I know Facebook has a shadow profile. They've admitted as much that they keep shadow profiles on people who don't actually have Facebook accounts. But consider your information security. One of the side missions is privacy intrusion in Watch Dogs. Consider, do you really need a smart speaker? I'm going to say 99.9% of people don't. You don't need a smart speaker. It's listening, by the way, all the time. Do you really need a webcam? No, you probably don't. Or if you have one, unplug it, except for the time when you're going to actually use it. If you have it on your laptop, put a little thing over the webcam so someone can't turn it on, which, by the way, they can do. It's not that difficult, actually. Most people's passwords are pretty weak, and most networks are pretty weak. Consider password safe. Don't use an online one. It creates a situation where, yeah, it can be really inconvenient. I can't get into a lot of my stuff on my phone because the passwords are 40 characters long, and I don't feel like typing that in my phone. I don't even know what most of my passwords are. They're in a password safe, and I copy paste, and it's always shown as encrypted to me. So I don't even know my own passwords, and I like that. My password safes are kept secure. think about security all the time. If I could, I'd get rid of my smartphone and I'd go to a flip phone. Not because I am that uber paranoid, more because what's the point? Great, I have a thing sitting on my desk that's listening to me talk. Great. Yes, it can access the internet. That's nice. But how often am I actually using it to access the internet? Not really all that much. And the times I do, I get like a couple minutes into it. I'm like, man, this is really oh, wait, there's my laptop sitting right there. Oh, I used a laptop. And yes, my laptops are secured too. Everything is calling home nowadays. Your smart speaker, your Windows operating system, your phones, your laptops. Everything is calling home. Give it as little as possible to call home with. Because in the end, you just open yourself up to hacks. In the industry space I work with, over a dozen companies in the past 6 months have been hit with ransomware. These are major corporations hit with ransomware because their info security was not tight enough. Don't get hit with ransomware. Be thoughtful about what you're doing. And consider when someone tells you, hey, this new technology is going to make your life easy. Is it really going to make your life easy? Or is it just the ad man trying to sell you something? Targeted, because guess what we're doing in the advertising space, guys? We're building targeted advertisements. I don't really want to say too much about that, but let's just say profiles are being built and ads are being inserted, and you think, oh yeah, well of course that's happening on websites all the time. Yeah, websites was the tip of the iceberg. It's going deeper, it's getting larger, and AI is getting involved in all of it. I know I've actually been playing with some AI systems at work. Be thoughtful, secure everything, don't use cheesy passwords, don't use the same password every single time. Use a password safe. Use spam seeking software, malware bytes or something like that. It'll call home, by the way, but at some point you're going to have to deal with it. And just be smart. There's some browsers out there that are really great for info security. If you want to be paranoid, you can use them. One of them is the Epic Privacy Browser. Always consider somebody's watching, because in the end, sadly, that's true. And always consider someone's probably going to try to steal your money, because that's probably going to happen too. That's just the way the world works now, unfortunately. I will give you this much. Watch Dogs, if you can get it cheap, and you don't mind the Ubisoft silliness, it's a decent enough game. I'm going to spoil it for you just slightly, because I want to say this one last thing that's super important. At the end, you kill somebody by hacking their pacemaker. I wish I could say that's fanciful, but that's possible and has been proven in several black hat conventions and several white hat conventions that it's possible to hack a pacemaker, an insulin pump, any biomechanical device that has a connection to the outside world so they don't have to open you back up to do work on it. That's the level we're getting to, people. I used to want to live in the Shadowrun world, the world where you could be part machine and part man, because I thought that would be really cool. I don't want to anymore because you'll just get hacked and killed. Like Cyberpunk, actually. I believe Cyberpunk that happens. Alright, enough paranoidness. It's not paranoid, it's reality, but hey, whatever. You can take it however you will. Pick up Watch Dogs if you like this idea that you can do like sneaky stuff. You can actually, I think you could almost no kill almost most everything. I think there's a level where there's several levels where you have to kill, but meh. It's Far Cry in Chicago, basically. All right. Until next time, new year, new decade. Not really. Technically, the decade starts in 2021, but most people don't realize that. Anyway, Hopefully YouTube doesn't jack everything up right away in the new year and we can continue rolling, but we'll see. Until next time, which should be Farmers Dynasty, maybe? Take care. Secure your passwords. Secure your phones. Turn off your near field communication. Hide your dogs and arm your alligator pits. Or something. Bye, everyone.